This is the Rebel Author Podcast, where we talk about books, business, and occasionally bad words.
Well, hello, Sasha Black.
Hello, darling.
I'm so happy to see you. I missed you.
I know, it does feel like a long time this time.
It feels like a really long time. And I'm very far behind in the podcast. I'm like, I swear, 6 months behind in your podcast, which is great for me because then this is always fresh. And number two, I haven't checked your Kickstarter. So, she just did the like suck in face. So I don't know if that's like, oh, it's going to be so good to tell you, or, oh, I've got some things and I'm disappointed. I have literally no idea what you're going to say next.
105,500 and something British pounds.
Holy shitball. Is it closed?
No, not yet.
No?
No.
Oh.
No, we still have like 5-6 days to go. 5 days, I think. Yeah.
So that is, oh my God, I just did the conversion, Americans. That's $225,000. 225. That's
New Zealand dollars, yeah.
No.
No, that's New Zealand
dollars. Oh, it is
dollars.
New Zealand dollars, right?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
Basically $250,000 in New Zealand dollars. That's amazing.
Insane.
How are you? Okay, but in US dollars, sorry, I'm doing the right conversion. 128. That sounds better. That really shocked me.
I think on Kickstarter it's saying 135, so you might maybe it's gone down today, but my friend's been sending me pictures, and the last time she sent me a picture it was like 130 something. Duchess, no, bloody cat. So yeah, it's incredible. So in the last 3 days, last time, so we followed the same structure where we did an early bird pricing. We did an extra 10% in the last 3 days. So if we did an extra 10% this time, that'd be really good. I'd love to do an extra 10% because, of course, we will pay like 8% fees to Kickstarter and Stripe for the financial fuckery things that they do. Yep. And then we'll have dropped pledges as well. So right. if we do another 10% and we can get, maybe over 115, between 115 and 120, I think we'll actually have come into the account 6 figures, which like that would be amazing. It won't be profit yet.
Right.
But that'll be the next one.
That'll be the next one. What a good plan. 100 grand, 6 figures in profit.
That's what Joe told me I have to do. I have to do 6 figures in profit, isn't it? Yeah,
it's really beautiful. But you wanted the 6 figures.
I wanted the 6 figures. Yeah, I'm really pleased. I'm really quite pleased. I'm really pleased. Yeah.
How have you felt about the emotional push to get it there?
Okay, so this is really interesting. And I was listening to a podcast, I think it was on Diary of a CEO, and it had like some of my favorite episodes on there are with like ex-spy, ex-MI6, ex-FBI type people. And this lady was talking about something that I felt a lot of connection to. And so she was, not everything that she said, but this in particular, which is that she is almost an observer to things that happen. So, for example, like any success, she tries not to, she acknowledges it, she has a moment of feeling proud and then sort of like moving on. And then, and the reason that she talks about that is because she says, if you let external circumstances dictate your emotions, then positive experiences will force you up and negative ones will then force you down. So then your feeling down is never in your control. And I was like, yeah, because lots of people are always like, you need to celebrate, you need to go wild, you need to feel this, you need to feel that. And I'm like, do I? Like, do I? Don't get me wrong. I'm fucking thrilled. There's like a, I acknowledge, intellectually recognize that I am proud. And it's not that I'm, I have a very flat line on my inside most of the time, unless it's like rage or excitement. That's like the two things that I default to quite easily. But most of the time I'm quite flat, and I'm really okay with that. Like, I'm intellectually very pleased, and I can acknowledge that, like, yes, I'm sort of happy and proud about it, but I don't I don't know how to do that thing that people do where it's like a big swell of emotion about the thing. So yeah, anyway, that's kind
I think that
of
that sounds healthy, and I'm also I really resonate with that. I think
yeah.
that's the way I feel that is when I am most comfortable, I can be truly deeply intellectually happy
But
and
also
also
because the journey, right?
yeah. Yes. Honestly, I don't love a swing. I don't love a giddily happy swing because I tend to get migraines when I get too happy or too excited or too angry. It goes physical, and I'm not even trying to say that I reject those emotions because I like them,
No,
but
no, no, yeah, of
I
course.
but I do feel like you and I are both in this place where this is a job, and I've never allowed my job. I mean, of course I have. I've failed many times, but I've never allowed a job to push me way high and way low because that's not what my life is. That's not what I want my
Right.
life to be.
And we can feel proud just
Yes, very
because
proud.
of who we are. Like I'm
Yeah.
proud of who I am, therefore that's enough.
Hmm. Well, that's
So
the
what
goal.
happens
That's my goal.
outside of that?
I'm
Right,
mostly,
exactly.
I feel,
Yeah.
I think I agree with that I'm almost there like 80%, but there's a good 20% of me that is still like,
Oh,
well,
you don't.
if I don't work, then I have no worth,
Oh yeah,
but
no, 100%. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I'm a robot. Like I have my
oh,
moments.
I
I
know you're
have my
not, girl.
tantrums, you know. But like, yeah, I don't know. I just kind of feel like I sort of have to explain that it's almost like an observer going, yes, we did it. Okay, what's the next job? You know, but
Hmm.
not in it. But like when I say that, people are often like, oh, that's so negative. You really should be doing blah blah blah. And I'm
Oh, I
like,
think that sounds
why?
wonderful.
I love my job. I love every bit of my job, you
Yeah.
know?
No, I think that
Like,
sounds exactly right.
yeah, yeah. I also have news on two fronts.
What?
So the first thing, I don't know if I told you this last time. I don't think I'd made the decision last time we spoke. I'm not publishing until September. That's the first thing to say. I'll explain that one in a second. And the second thing to say is I finished the novella this evening,
Oh,
literally
good
about an hour
job.
ago.
Good
I
job.
can't
That has
believe it.
been hanging around your neck.
Seriously, seriously hanging around my neck. It ended up being 40,000 words, and I always underwrite. So when
A
I finish
small novel.
editing, I know when I finish editing, I think it's going to be like 43-ish, but we'll see. But yeah, I am very relieved that I finished it. I fucking love it. It is the most fun thing I've ever written, and I feel like it's my love letter to the readers. Like that's what I feel like it
Oh.
is. It's not like there is a plot, but like my vampire was like this sweeping epic plot across three books, interconnected
Mhm.
storylines, timelines, all of this. It's none of that. This is candy crack in a book, and I fucking love it.
In terms of marketing, I know this isn't usually where you are, but there's something in there about when you are marketing, when you're doing the videos on TikTok or whatever, there's something to be said for like, you know how my characters always, get it on and love each other, da 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 da. This is how I'm doing it to you. This is There's something in
I
there.
love that. I love that. It's funny because one of my sort of reader come friends was messaging me, and I was like, they'd replied to a thing that I'd put up, like, "What do you love in Sapphic books?" And the comment was something. In fact, I'm going to get it because it was just absolutely fucking priceless. And I was like,
Oh,
sorry,
I
I'm
can't
just
wait to hear what this
scrolling
is.
through.
And I am so thrilled that you got it done because I know you were struggling with it.
Yeah. So masks, subs, brats, spanking, bonus points for all three at once. And I just replied and I was like, yeah, you're gonna love the novella. It's like the whole lot is in there. And I was like, this is why it's my love letter to readers. So I was like, this has made my day. But yeah, I have literally written like 20K in the last, no, 26K, I think, in the last like 10 days. It just all of a sudden it gone. And then I was like, focus. So I'm in
That
a
must have felt
delightful
so
mood.
good. You are so sparkly right now too.
I really am. I am
When
so happy to be
and
back
when
at
do
the
they get this?
desk.
This is a Kickstarter perk.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so that comes to point two. So we will release this in the Kickstarter. They'll get
Mhm.
the ebook and then they will get the hardback. So it's going in one of those like upside down ones. So the prequel to this series will be one way and then this novella will be the other way.
I have
So it'll
not
be
seen
like
that
an
since 1994, and I fucking love it. I
right?
loved those books. It always felt like, I don't know, why did it feel so guiltily delicious? Like,
Doesn't it?
ooh, I'm gonna turn the book over and I'm gonna read it the other way.
I know, I love it. I love it. I remember there was one, Lauren Oliver did one, and it was like the same story, but from two different characters' perspectives.
Oh,
And I was like, this is brilliant. Um,
oh.
So they will get that, which will deliver in. So I've basically decided, even though the Kickstarter books will arrive at the beginning of July, I'm making my priority finishing Architecty 1 and 2. So the duet is done before I go on holiday. So we are then deferring the Kickstarter fulfillment until the end of August when I'm back, which means Architecty 1 will release in September, Architecty 2 will release in December. And then this novella is going to release on Valentine's Day, 2026, because it's set at a wedding. And I was like,
Perfect.
this is perfection. But that does mean a 9 month gap for me between releases.
Which means promotion of your incredible backlist.
Yes,
Do
I
you,
feel sick.
that's not a lot. That's not a lot for that's very little for normal writers. It's just not as fast as I think it's good. I really do. There is something to be said
Well,
for not oversaturating your readers.
what it's going to mean is that by the time I go on holiday in July, all of my releases up to February 2026 are done, which means I won't need to release again until like May, June time next year, which is going to give me a huge run up to get really far in advance, which is
Which
because
is what
so
you
this
wanted.
is
You have
this
been
was what
saying
I
that this
wanted.
was your goal.
This and I was like, I am not going to let the warehouse like veer me off track from this goal. My priority was getting ahead, and I chose to open a warehouse, therefore I pay the consequence. So I was like, right, well, we are not releasing until September and we're pushing the novella to February. And I was like, and it is what it is. We Timos need to come up with some ideas for how we keep the cash flow going. So it will be a ton of promotion. We are bringing some other things online, but also it might just be weathering the storm because
Hmm.
we've got merchandise coming towards the end of the year. We're going to have the novella will have its own wedding book box. So we've got all of these things. We've got new sticker things and just there's loads of stuff coming. So I'm like, we just need to deal with it. We just need to deal with it and keep trying to push. We've got omnibus, like special edition omnibus, so it'll be
What is
fine.
it? It's oh gosh, why have I just lost her name? You've had her on your show, and Inez Johnson, who I think is a genius, and how she just plans one promotion a month and does it
Yeah.
with something always going. And I've always thought that was so clever to actually you sit down, you pick it, and then you do it, you execute, and you have people to execute that for you
I
and with you.
do. So I think what we'll do is we will figure something like that out once Juliet is in. So she starts on the 14th.
Who's
And
Juliet?
so Juliet, oh, so she's my lady who's coming in to do all the packing and shipping.
Okay, I think the last time we spoke, you had somebody who hadn't shown up or something.
Okay, so did not hire that person.
Okay, good.
There were
I
like
was worried you
three
were just
red
going to say
flags.
like, "Oh, that's Juliet. She's great."
This is why I got behind on the novella because my gut was saying no. And this person was the only option I had at that time. And so I was going in my subconsciously, I was going, no, 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 you are never going to trust this person. I was looking at having to put CCTV in and like,
Oh
and I was like,
no.
this is, yeah, yeah, yeah. Not, they hadn't, it was nothing. They seemed like a very nice person, but my gut was
But your
like,
gut
no.
was saying, yeah.
Yeah. And Juliet is a family friend. She is actually married to my sort of cousin once removed or twice removed, something like that. And is it ticks every single box that I asked the universe for. Semi-retired, self-employed, and super clever, and a huge bookworm. And her dream was to work in a bookstore. And do you know what she said to me? She was like, now I feel like I've got my own bookstore. And I was like, oh, we are going to be such a good team.
That is perfect.
The universe literally delivered everything that I wanted. Can believe it.
Oh my God. May I just point out what a shift this is from last time? Because the last time we spoke, you had a hard time even being on the show. Do you remember?
I
We,
know. I
that
nearly
was the
messaged you and I
first
was like, I don't
time.
know if I can do this.
It was the first time I almost offered, maybe not today.
Yeah.
And you did, you rose to it, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
this is so different. You have such a relaxed affect. You are
Yeah.
exactly where you are supposed to be. You have the people surrounding you that you are supposed to be surrounded by. How is the warehouse? I'm asking you all these questions because I'm very lightly interesting this month. Not at all. Not like you.
Okay.
Um, how's the warehousing going? How is all that working?
Okay. So my mum stepped up. She's been
You
amazing.
had mentioned that she was ideal.
But she really stepped up. So she basically we were on a bit of a rhythm where she does Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So I cancelled Tuesday, Thursday collections, and I'm trying to go in the evenings and do the preppings, which I'll explain in a second. And then my mum goes in the mornings and does the packing, and she then does all the odd jobs. So things like stamping the books. So tomorrow she's going to do stamping the hardbacks because I basically went in last weekend and signed 1,000 books. And I listened to a whole audiobook whilst I was doing it. Oh my God, remind me to tell you about serial killer romance. Oh my God,
Okay.
I'm literally like
Okay.
on fire today. Like
Okay.
I've got
I
verbal
love it.
diarrhea, so I
And I
apologize.
just woke up, so this is perfect. My Ritalin is gonna kick in here while we're talking.
So sorry.
I'll be smart again. No, this is
Um,
fabulous.
um, where was it? Yeah, so I signed 1,000 books and then I stamped them all. So mum didn't have to do that because mum was like, the more we can prep in advance, the better. So there's a ton of stuff like making these little freebie bags up. I have like these little smiley faces. So if I film your order, they get a smiley face. It's like a smile on camera face that shows your order was packed on social media, right? So it's like the yeah. So anyway, so it's all of these kinds of things that once she's done the packing, she will then go and do these little things. We partnered with a ton of Sapphic authors to kind of put a little bundle of like reader magnets together.
Mhm.
And so we're sending those out. We have found it a little bit difficult because not everybody's quite followed the instructions. So I'm not sure if we will continue to do this because it's proved quite difficult, but I've really enjoyed doing it and I'm really happy that I've done it as a way to like give
I
back to the
still think you should do
community.
it. And the thing is, here's why I think about that. When I'm opening a book and there's a bunch of amazing things in there, and then there's a couple of things that don't, that are kind of a little bit weird, but they've got a different author's name on it. I am 100% patient with that. I think it's delightful. And it
Yeah,
also makes
yeah.
you look really good in a way. I don't
No,
know.
it's things like instead of reader magnets, they were going to like sales pages and stuff. So, I mean, we've just had to,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Or like it wasn't actually a reader magnet, it was just a sign up link. So, I mean, so
Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
fine. We're trying, we're working
Yeah,
with
yeah.
everybody.
You're trying.
We're getting there. We're getting there. Yeah. So, mum's prepping all of those kinds of things. So she's not loving the computer system, which is tying me there until Juliet comes in. So I have to go in the evenings and print off all the orders, match the orders. But that's fine because I still need to film and film content. So I don't mind. And my kid has been super understanding as well because he's been dragged there about a million different times after school and he's very understanding. So that's great. So yeah, the warehouse, and I feel like we are now in a rhythm with the warehouse. We kind of know how it works. We know what we're doing. We have done another massive order. So we have now done the big China order, which is going to bring our books up to trad standards. So our standard paperbacks are going to be embossed and spot UV.
Your
That's just
standard
my
paperback.
standard paperback is going to be embossed and
Fuck
spot UV.
right off.
I know, right?
That is so cool. No, no, no. I would like to. I would like you to correct your statement because now you're better than regular trad because regular trad does not do that anymore. It is
Oh
special
well,
trad
yeah,
that does that.
yeah. Oh well, I do like to be the best.
I mean, yeah, I can't even show you my real book because I haven't got it here. But like, that's not a standard given anymore. None of that is.
It is for me.
Wow.
So Yeah. So we've got 3,000 books coming, but they won't arrive until the first week of June. So we're having to do a mini short run because we're going to be about 150 sets short. So we've got that in the works. So it's that stock management and cash flow is really, really interesting to play with that. But the lady that's coming in was a project manager and is extremely good with Excel and loves processes and systems. So I'm literally just like in heaven. I can't wait for her to start.
Because
So I
you're
think,
ending up hiring somebody who is going to come to you with better ideas than you could have had because she'll be
oh my
on the
God,
floor all the time. Yep.
that is why I
That's
hired
the
her
best
because
part.
I literally, when she was in there, I looked at her and I was like, oh, you've already got ideas about how to make this better, haven't you? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, you are fucking hired.
Have you gotten her to do her Clifton Strengths yet?
No, but I will.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ideation is
Come on,
probably
it's
up in
me.
that top 10.
Yeah, and maybe a ranger. I think a ranger might be high,
An
but we'll see.
activator,
We'll
an
see.
achiever.
I have no
Yep, yep,
idea.
yep.
I have no idea yet. So yeah, I'm very, very excited. I think that's all the thing. Is that all the
And
things?
is the warehouse okay, just clarifying because I forget things. The warehouse, is that just for TikTok shop or is it for it's for your own,
Shopify.
it's for everything. It's for Shopify. So
Yeah,
you
yeah,
you're mailing all of these internationally.
correct.
That must be
Yeah,
expensive. It must be expensive
yeah.
to
My
mail.
shipping bill is about £1,000 a week.
Readers, I
Yeah,
had tea in my mouth when Sasha said that and it
yeah,
almost came out.
yeah. So like
I
two
thought
thousand
I
New
thought
Zealand dollars a week.
I was gonna
Yeah.
gasp at $1,000 a month, and then you said,
Yeah, no, we're shipping a lot of parcels out. Yeah.
but also readers pay for that. Like that's the
Yeah.
thing is that they
Yeah. Yeah.
wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So I've got all the like data on where everything goes. We have like a wild, I'm just grabbing my laptop. We have a wild array of countries where all the stuff goes. UK is still the most, but that is because of TikTok Shop. So
Yes,
TikTok Shop,
yeah,
obviously, then that's only UK. So it does
right.
make that higher than when we just had Shopify. But also, we're not expensive. Like I don't think we're that expensive. Post wise, we are about 490, I think, to the UK, £4.90.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and for like the bundle to go to America, it's like a tenner. So, I mean, to ship from the UK to America
That's
for a tenner.
nothing. You can ship one book to New Zealand from the United States, just like a slim paperback in an envelope, and it'll be about 50 or $60. US dollars.
Fuck.
It's
Oh my
just, I mean, New
God.
Zealand. So if you ever have to ship to New Zealand, it might be a bit more, or maybe it's just from the United States. I'm not sure, but it is
So
wild.
this week, 42% of our shipments are the United States.
Only 42, that's great.
That's the most.
Yeah. Oh,
40% is the
wow.
UK. 40% is the UK. Seven something percent is the Netherlands. And then we've got Norway, Portugal, Germany, and Belgium. Last week we had Slovenia, Norway, yeah, loads of just like absolutely tons and tons and tons of different countries. So let me do this month. See, it's like wild. Yeah, so we've got Norway, France, Ireland, Canada, Australia, Germany, United States, United Kingdom. So we go all over.
Dang.
Yeah, it is
That
cool.
is beyond cool.
Yeah, I
1 year
really love
ago,
it.
you never would have predicted this ever. 1 year ago.
No,
No
not in a million
freaking way.
years. No, I just, but like, it's so fun. And I love like being able to give all the goodies to the readers. Like, that is one of my favorite bits is like batch bulk ordering freebies and goodies. And like, yeah, I don't know, because I really like book mail and I love getting those parcels. So I then love like doing that for readers as well. But also, it's like, so this architecty that I'm going to write next,
Mhm.
we're going to do a print run and we are going to ship print run books. This is the first like pre-order print run that we're doing. So we are already taking pre-orders for it. And we've already got enough to pay for the print run. So we're going to do a print run and they're going to get like a bookmark, a sticker, and an art print by ordering direct from me. And they're going to get it. It will ship before anywhere else from my.
May may I ask you, have you marketed that or is that from people going to your site and seeing it and opting in? How are you getting
Have
people to make
we?
those pre-sales? To know
Um,
about the pre-sale? Is this
so
something you
I
put on
think
TikTok?
not yet. So it's gone in my newsletter. once, maybe twice. No, I think once. It's gone in my newsletter, and it's gone on Instagram 2 times, I think, maybe 3 times.
And you
Yeah.
have covered your cost of printing from the
Yeah.
pre-freaking orders.
Yeah.
Have you written that book yet? Or is that that is
No,
okay.
that is the next one.
Can you give me the
Yeah.
log line or the genre? Because I can't remember.
Yes. So it is dark academia, gothic romantasy, a
That's
deal
right.
with the devil,
Ooh.
and inverted Tower of Babel. So like the quick summary is
I don't
that
understand that. Tell me.
so the Tower of Babel story. You don't
Well, I
know the
know
Tower of
that. I know
Babel?
that, but how is it inverted?
So
Everybody speaks the same language?
instead of up to heaven, it's down to the underworld.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Thanks. Yeah. So basically this girl,
That's
Midnight,
so
she
cool.
she has a girlfriend. Her girlfriend gets terminally sick. She goes to a demon to make a deal. She makes a deal to save her partner. Her partner's saved. Her partner then cheats on her. She goes back to the demon and is like, "What the fuck?" And the demon's like, "It's not my problem. You made the deal. You still only have 10 years and then your soul is mine." So she's then on this mission to like either accrue enough power to like the demon or find a way to break the deal. And so she goes to this academy, Finis Academy, which is in the inverted tower. And then while she's there, she falls in love with a girl who happens to be the demon's daughter.
You know what's funny is that I don't remember stories ever. I never remember stories. I can read a book, put it down, it's gone. You told me about this idea in the hotel, off air in New Zealand. I even know how that book ends. I
Yeah,
remember how that book ends
yeah,
in order to move into book two. I can't wait to
yeah.
read that. That
I'm
is
so
such a high
excited.
concept that it's just like
Yeah.
imprinted now in my brain. Oh,
And the other bit, I don't know if I told you this because I've decided this recently, but it's a descent arc. So these women become villains, and but in becoming villains, they like find themselves. So it's like that is their true like magical fulfillment arc. And so like
we
yeah,
want
they're
our
gonna
characters to step into their
yeah,
full essence
right?
by
It's
the
just
end,
that
and it's just
these guys are villains.
also inverted.
Yes, I
Oh,
know, right? Oh God, I'm so excited. And the whole thing is about obsession. They're obsession, like unhealthy obsession, obsession with knowledge, obsession with power, obsession with each other, obsession with love. I can't wait. I can't wait.
I am
I
obsessed.
literally can't wait.
When will you get to start plotting that?
Like now, 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 now.
Oh,
Like,
because the novella
yeah,
is done.
yeah. So I have to edit. So I'll like today, tomorrow,
Yeah.
hopefully by the end of Friday. If not, I'll finish it over the weekend and then the
Today,
following
there's no
week.
more today after this. It's nighttime for
Sorry.
you.
Yeah, I meant tomorrow and
Okay.
Friday.
Okay. Oh, I was gonna yell at you. You're still not working too much at night, right?
No,
Are you
no, no,
trying?
no, no,
Oh, good.
no. Oh my God, no,
Excellent.
no. Yeah. So I think
Or
that's probably
or
everything.
you could still be working at your old day job and never written a book.
Oh my God. I can't so my anniversary of having left my day job's coming up.
Oh, mine is today. You
Get
just said it. It's on
out!
my calendar. So
Oh my God, I
16.
love
So
that.
9 years today.
Congratulations.
Thank
Oh my God. Oh my
you.
God. How do you
I should do one of
feel?
those.
What are the things that you've learned about
I should
yourself?
do one of those lessons learned and actually put some thought into it. But I have learned that this is the only way I ever wanted to be. That I cannot believe I worked for literally the man. I worked for the cops and the fire department. I worked for the man for 17 years. I don't know how I know how I was able to always show up and do whatever anybody said because I was just a part of a paramilitary organization. Is that I just got sick all the time. I mean, I had so many migraines. I had so many health issues because I was pushing all of that inside, and I was a very good, diligent worker. Um, but my preferred method was always and has always been freedom and choosing what I want. And and the thing that scared me the most, I think, when I left was not being sure that I would follow through. And not following through is not my problem. I always follow through. I always take care of myself. I take care of my family. I do what I love and I get to follow my heart. And I get to like on Tuesday, usually I have something on Zoom at least once a day. Like there's something going on, an interview or whatever. Um, but Tuesday was nothing. So I got on this double decker. Oh no, that's a lie. I was going to get on the double decker bus and go to see my sister, who's right now staying about um, a hour and a half ride away from me on the bus or a 20-minute drive. But instead, I mean, that's just what I was going to do. I put my laptop and my swimsuit in my bag and I got down to the bus and it was going to be a 20-minute wait. So I got on the ferry and I crossed on the ferry, which I've actually never done. Met her, worked in a cafe, worked in a library. She goes, "Do you want to go for a swim?" And I said, "Oh no, I've got to finish these emails." And I was like, "Okay, no, fuck that." And I put on my togs and we jumped in the sea. And then I took the double decker home around the bays, looking at the water the whole time. I was the only person on the top deck, right in the front. I mean, it's just like my dream. I love riding buses. And that was my work day. And 9 years ago, I would have said, "But Rachel, are you getting enough work done?" And now I know that I am. And ugh,
I love that so much because it's like a really visceral, tangible feeling of realization.
mhm.
It's like you know a thing in a way that you didn't know a thing before. And
Yes, yeah.
it's bizarre because I had that realization about words this week. Now I don't know what happened, but this week I literally was like, "Oh, my job is to write the book."
Yes. When was your first realization, that tangible realization? Because I had this the other day when I paid for Bethany's lunch. She doesn't make as much as I do, and she's my little sister, and I often pay for her. And I had that thought, there goes writing money. There goes money that I made with my brain in some way. And the first thing I ever bought that felt tangible with money that I'd earned from books. I was still working full time at the 911 job, and I was writing full time, and I was working like 100 hours a week. But I bought my smart car. I bought this little smart car and I hadn't been planned. It was my dream car. I'd wanted one since I saw them in Europe in like 91. And it was at the used car place and I drove by and I looked over and I thought, there's my dream car. And I hated my old car. It was dying. And I pulled in and with Lala's permission, I bought it on the spot with royalties I had just made from an Australia earning out, something like that. And I remember driving that car that day that I hadn't meant to buy, and I drove to death, and it's still driving in the city. It was a convertible. Let me add, it was a convertible smart car, which
What
is the
color
best
was
kind.
it?
It was blue, but now it's a
Oh,
Mondrian. These people, my friends have made it into this like art Mondrian car, and it's just incredible. That's what they do to their cars is they make them art and then drive them around. So now my little smart car convertible, but I would put the top down, and I would just think my brain did this. This came out of my brain and connection. This came out of my brain and connections with other people. And what was your first tangible?
it was only last year,
Okay.
which sounds wild, but we went to Venice as a
Oh,
family.
that's right.
Yeah, and we were on the boat from the airport to Venice, and I just cried because it was the first it was the first time that my fiction had ever paid for
Yeah.
anything.
Yep.
And I just sat there like silently crying because it was on my bucket list to go to Venice. And
Were
I
you in a
was just like
taxi or on the Vaporetto? You were in the
the
taxi. Okay.
the
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 bus boat.
yes,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
perfect.
yeah. Yeah,
I
and
love that ride.
yeah, and I just looked at, all the little islands and I was just like like I'd wanted to go to Venice for years and years and years. Yeah, and it was really like almost goosebumps looking back because it's such a like I can really place myself physically in that moment. Like it's almost like that feeling of being super present.
Hmm. That's
Like
yes.
you are
Yes.
so present that every sense, every color, every 360 angle is like seared into your
You
brain
know what's
in that
funny is that
memory.
I turned off the podcast that I was listening to because I knew that this was happening to me and I put on just music like a favorite playlist and I sat with like empty hands, no knitting, no nothing, not my phone. And my hands were in the sun as we drove towards the sunset and my hands were warm and I watched the sun sparkle and I looked over the harbor to where I live, where I used to live with Lala and now to this hill where I live on the other side of it. And it was, yes, every single sense was in that moment.
Do you think it's self-awe? Because that feeling is almost like awe at the world, right? But then it's awe at something that we've done.
Oh, it's I think it's awe at the world. I don't think it's
Yeah.
awe at what I've done. I
But
but
your
there is
words
a
paid
no,
for
you're
it.
right. You're right. No, there is awe at what has done.
What has
And
happened?
that's interesting because 9 years ago I would have on and even before that I felt guilty for having those feelings in a way like, oh, you shouldn't think that about what you've done. But now it's just a deep joy. It's not like
Yeah.
a oh, look what I've done. It's a deep joy. That's my brain. Deep joy of what how this has occurred because
Yes,
Lala
that's what
Lala
I
has
meant.
been
That's
on it, she's Lala's still unemployed and she's and but that means like for all these last few years everything that has come through our fingers has been a product of my brain, and there is deep joy and gratitude and appreciation
yes.
for the fact that I can do this and then I'm allowed to do it. Can I share something fun that how no I want to see what that brain thought is.
Well, all of those emotions together equal
Yeah,
awe.
yeah. Yeah,
But yes,
and
please tell me.
I really like the moment that just that you pointed that out, that I allowed myself to be in that moment and remember it, and I'll never forget that moment. And I actually came down and wrote it down on my like daily like don't forget that moment on the bus. Um, oh, just that. So I'm applying for two different residencies. I don't know if I'll get either, and I could only get one because they're at the same time. One is in Australia, and one is a month in Australia, and one is 2 months in Shanghai. Um, but in order to apply, you have to send them 2,000 words of the current book in progress that you would work on while you're there. And all I have is first draft, direct and dribble, and like not even a complete sentence anywhere. So I actually had to sit down and write a polished scene. And I wrote probably one of the most important scenes that I know about so far. And it's written in epistolary form. So it's a letter form from this would have been 1925 or so, in a man's voice. And I really loved it, but I wasn't sure if it was good. And there are two people who will always tell me the truth. And they're incredible readers, my sister Bethany and my wife Lala. And I gave it to Bethany because we were at that cafe. And I said, could you please look at this? I don't know. I've never written this way. I don't know if it's any good. And she read the first two paragraphs and she goes, fuck off. You should have always been writing this. This is what you're meant to write.
Oh my God, that's such a powerful statement.
And she's such a good reader. And so yeah, I was really pleased about that.
Oh my
About
God,
that.
that's
Yeah.
amazing. Whilst you were talking, you also reminded me that you have been in another country since we last spoke,
Oh
and you,
yes. I've
you had an
also
actual vacation on a beach.
I had a vacation
How did
in
that go for
Asia
you?
on a beach by myself. I have never had this okay, so that's right, because
Yeah,
I Marco Polo'd you, panicked. Oh my God. I Marco Polo'd you and our friend AK in a frothing panic. I think I was 22 minutes in to my sitting on the beach on the first
yeah,
day. And I was like, oh, I
yeah.
have done this. I've done it for 22 minutes. I've been sitting here enjoying it. I've had a pineapple drink and it was like 9 in the morning, 10 in the morning. I just had breakfast and sat onto the beach. And I was like, no, I'm done. I don't know what else to do. I have no idea what to do. And it was funny, but it was also, you knew I said it because I was very serious. I had six
Yeah.
days by myself. And I had gone to this island, and I always do this thing where sometimes I'll get really into research, but most of the time I don't. I do as much research as I need to get there. And then I know that when I get there, I'll find out where I am and what I should go see and what I should go do. On this island, there was nothing to do. There was not a museum. There was not a store. There was nothing. There was the hotels where you sit on the beach. That is it. And there was a lot of drinking cruises. And I didn't want to do that with a bunch of strangers. So all I had to do was sit there. And I did it. I did it within by the second day. I had it down. I knew what I was doing. I had a system in place where I'd hold my perfect. I needed this one spot under the beach umbrella because it never got sun, not once, not one moment of the day. And this skin does not want to be kissed by a tropical sun. Period. And I got so much sun anyway. I'm all brown and tan from so I have swimsuit lines. But that's because I was swimming so much. I would get my perfect umbrella. And then I would go have breakfast, and then I would sit under it and I would read, and then I would go between the pool and the sea, the pool and the 28-degree, which is very warm, people, water. I met up with some people that I had met at the conference who were also on the same island as me, and we did go out on a boat. We went out on this outrigger, just us, the six of us, and we went snorkeling and hung out. But the rest of the time, I was alone reading. I read four books. I read this book. I can't remember if I've recommended it to you yet or not, but you will love it. Take Back Your Brain. Please just go buy it.
Oh,
Take Back Your
okay.
Brain by Kara Lowenthal. She is she was like an appellate lawyer or something like that. Now she's a feminist mindset coach of the type that is life changing. I've actually worked with her in the past. Um, and she's very expensive, but now she's got the book and everybody can read the book. And I read it and it was life changing there on the beach. And she really looks at all of her work from a cognitive behavioral therapy lens. So it's CBT. It talks about and basically what we're talking about earlier, the thought you have, creating the emotion that occurs, which creates the action that you do, which creates um, the the return on that action's investment. And so if it
Event
all,
plus reaction equals outcome.
yes, but that event is always, always preceded by an emotion, which is always, always preceded by a thought. And so then if you can change the thought in a very kind of scientific way. She spoke of something that really blew my mind. The problem with affirmations. I know you love an affirmation, and I love an affirmation. But the problem for me with affirmations is a lot of times my brain just goes, "Nope, that's a lie. Nope, that's a lie. Nope, that's a lie." So it doesn't quite buy into it. So she talks about how you can get to the affirmational state of it. You can get to that thought that you want to have. Oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this thought work on the 100K this year for me, from from writing, and and I'll get back to you because your brain shuts it down, but you start where you are and then you build this thought ladder of truths. You have these thoughts that are absolutely 100% true, and then they bring you up to that thought. So, can I explain it a little bit further?
Yeah,
I
please
think
do.
I might have said this on my own podcast, so forgive me, people, if I'm doing this again. But I am going to be creating a little course on this using her work to use it for writing. Um, so my thought about the book that I've been dying to write, but haven't been writing because I've been so busy with everything else. But also there's the reluctance, there is the resistance. And my real thought, my base thought was, I don't know yet, and I don't understand yet enough to start this book, to really start this book. I don't understand yet. But my thought the affirmation that I would love to have been telling myself and believed was, I can't wait to write this book every day. I just can't wait to get into it again every day. That's the thought I wanted to get to. And that's not true. But the steps in between where I came up with two or three thoughts that were absolutely true, which are every time I write, I am filled with enthusiasm and new inspiration. And absolutely true. I know that. And I love planning the next step, the next day of my books, and I always find joy from the writing. Of course, these were better written, but they were steps that they are thoughts that were so true that I gave myself the assignment of thinking about these three thoughts for like, I don't know, just a few minutes in the morning every day. And on the very first day, I just reached for my Remarkable and started typing in Charles's voice, who was the one who came out in this scene. And I hadn't even been planning to write. Like I'd been planning to think about the book and mull and do all the fun stuff that I've been doing, but I hadn't been planning to write and I couldn't help writing because I got so excited. By doing the thought work that led to the thought I had wanted to have, which led to this emotion, which led to the action I could not prevent, which was, oh my God, I can't wait to write this. I got to write this right now. It's such a good idea. It worked instantly.
So it feels very much like or Venn diagram adjacent to manifestation
Yes.
because the reason that manifestation works is that it changes your frame of mind, which leads to a different action. You then
Yes.
take action.
Yes.
And like that's what I love about it. And I think that each of us does this in a different way. And like you just have to find the method that works for you. For me, it all comes down to the decision. I
Mm.
decide that something is going to happen or I will do something. And then I just proceed through life as if it has already happened.
So for you, when you make that decision, you probably won't ever need this tool because when you make the decision, you know that it is true. It is now a true
Yes,
statement for you.
yes, yes.
But
That's
for
exactly
many
what
of us,
happens.
Sasha Black, we make that decision. I'm a six-figure author. The next thought our brain goes was, fuck off, you're not. Fuck off, you're not. Just a little tiny voice. Like, I know what
Ah,
you're doing. You're doing affirmation, but actually you're not. You're not. You're not. So if you can find your way up the ladder with completely true statements that you resonate with in your whole being, then suddenly you're there and you got there via making that decision that you make very easily.
No, no, no,
Uh,
no,
oh, okay.
no. It's very
Correct me.
hard.
Oh, okay.
Very hard. Yeah, no, no,
But
no.
once the decision is made, it's true.
Correct, correct,
Yeah.
correct. So getting to that decision point is so hard for me. But then
Mm.
it's like once I lock in, that's it. It's done. It is already done. But yeah, no, it can take and it takes a lot of commitment. It takes a lot of deciding that this is the right goal. It takes a lot of deciding and telling myself that I'm capable. A lot of, is there a pathway? Can I see that it work? Can I see that this strategy or this methodology work? There's a lot of brain fuckery to get me to that point.
Yeah.
But once I make that decision, or like that, it is already done. Like it is just it is exactly what you said. It is then a truth.
And once it's a truth, then it's manifested.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, it's wild. It is
That is
wild.
so cool.
Yeah, but it's the same thing. It is the same thing.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
do
no,
believe
it
that. It is
sounds
the
like
same.
it sounds exactly the same. I
Yeah.
love that. So that's
Yeah.
what I was doing in the Philippines. I was sitting on the beach, changing my life, reading,
Changing life
resting,
one thought at a
at one
time.
thought at a time, eating so much stuff. And also the medical conference that I went to was absolutely incredible to meet people with my same condition and to meet doctors who are treating it and to meet the pharmacologists who are trying to, make the money to make more of this kind of medicine. And that was exciting. And yeah, it was great. It was really, really useful. And apparently they have these conferences every 2 years. So hopefully I get to go to the next one and maybe take Lala with me.
Oh,
So
yeah. That will be
yeah.
fun. Let's just swing back round to books because you said you read four and I mentioned serial killers earlier
Oh
on.
yeah.
So
Okay, so what's this one
what
called? It's the one you read? Serial
oh no
Killers?
no 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 no
Oh, you
no
just read
no. So it's a whole genre, serial killer romance. And
it's a genre.
yeah, well, I don't know if it's got a category. I don't think it's got a category on Amazon, but basically, I have been in a reading slump for about 8 months,
Oh
like
no.
really, really struggling to read anything. I barely, barely hit my 100 books last year. This is the first year in probably, I don't know, maybe 7 years that I haven't set a Goodreads goal because I came into this year like I don't like anything. I had probably picked up and put down 20 books within the first 50 pages, couldn't get into
Mm.
anything. Nothing wrong with the books.
Hmm.
It was
No, when
all
we do
me.
that, it's us. When we do that, it's us.
It's
We can hit a
oh,
dud every once
totally.
in a while,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
yeah.
Could not find anything. And then somebody who is a very trusted reader, we like very similar things, was like, "Oh, have you read Lights Out by Navasa Allen?" And I was like, "No." Like, what is it? She was like, "Just read the audio." And I was like, okay. So I listened to this audiobook. Oh my God. So like high level, nurse is obsessed with masked TikToker. Hot TikTok guy never takes his mask off. Turns out, spoiler alert, everybody, this is like in the first couple of chapters, the masked guy is her ex's best mate and roommate. And so, of course, so ensues this relationship. She's like obsessed and has like commented, and he's like a tech whiz. Anyway, they end up in this entanglement and end up accidentally killing somebody. And she happens to be part of the mafia family. And so there's this whole, but it didn't matter, right? There was something about it because I was like, oh, I don't know about that. Like serial killer. I mean, this was very light serial killer. This is
Yeah,
like
yeah.
dark romantic comedy, is what
Yeah.
I would say.
Ooh.
Yeah. And so then I was like, oh my God, I need something exactly like this. And everybody talks about Butcher and Blackbird, but I read Butcher and
Mhm.
Blackbird first and was like, like the beginning of it, great, fantastic. Wasn't a fan of the ending. But then I read Rook and Rebel, and that was the audiobook I listened to without stopping whilst I was signing a thousand books the other day. And I was like, this shit is crack. Like I didn't want to press pause. I just devoured it. And then I read There Are No Saints by Sophie Lark, which is proper serial killer romance. So he's killed 14 people. He's like this really real super intelligent artist come billionaire, of course. And then she's like this poor starving artist and like I don't know what these people are putting in these books, but like it has literally turned my life around. And I'm like, I need to go away and do some intellecting about
Yeah.
what is wrong with me, first of all. And secondly, like like I
No.
might wanna I might need to write this because
Yeah.
um I like dark, but I
Hmm.
also like and it's not real. And so my psychology background is like they're not real because, if they were really psychopaths, then like they wouldn't form an attachment to blah, 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 or have like these feelings suddenly for these people. But it doesn't matter. I love it. I need to, like, I'm going to do my thing where I just like obsessively read everything I can possibly get my hands on that's in this genre. And I do think there will be a line. Like, I'm not sure I can read Hunting and Haunting Adeline because like I've seen some of the TikToks about it and I'm like, I don't know if that's too far past the line.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Well, I think you should try it because you just said, I don't know if that's too far past the line. You should try it so that you know.
yeah, so I picked up one of her novellas and opened it and it just felt like gratuitous splatter gore
Mm.
and I was like I'm not sure, but I don't know if that's just because it was a novella. I didn't really give it a chance. I gave it like 3 pages, and I was like, mm. So I will give it a chance. I probably will read it. Um, but yeah, I think I maybe like darker stuff than I thought.
Also, this is going to be so useful to you in your own books when you do the intellecting on what of those ingredients are you going to bring in for yourself to make yours even. Oh, do you think you would need to start a new pen name, or could you keep this Ruby? You're like, fuck
Yeah.
that. I'm not doing another pen name.
Yeah, because there was some really quite, yeah, I'm not doing another pen name, but also there were some darker moments, I would say,
Yeah.
in the vampire ones, definitely. And a lot of schmink, if you catch my drift.
Mhm.
So there's definitely room to, and I'm quite good at putting warnings in, or I put them on my website because if we put them on Amazon, it can get you in the dungeon. But
Mm.
I put them all on my website, so I do make it clear that there are a lot of warnings. Please go and look at them. Um, so yeah, it's like my new
Amazing.
thing.
Your reading
Yeah,
slump is broken.
it is
And that,
broken. I'm
oh,
so happy.
congratulations. What did I read? Did I read anything really good? Oh, I read the new Leanne Moriarty, absolutely other end of the world, but I thought it was great. And I read Matchmaking for Psychopaths, which is not serial killer, but it is all about psychopaths and there's some murdering in it. I
Oh,
enjoyed it. It was quite fun and funny. And oh gosh, I read a lot of pre-pubs. So they're not quite out yet. I read Monarch, which was a really creepy sci science fiction kind of about a beauty queen child whose brain had been messed with by her father.
mm.
I very much enjoyed that. And I read Full Speed to a Crash Landing, which is, I don't know, maybe I'm in science fiction right now. Spaceship romance. So, and then a couple others that I can't remember because they're not showing up here. But yeah, that's what I've been doing. Oh, I did
Mm.
finally read. You told me to read Viola Davis's memoir, and it was, obviously I listened to that because I would not read
Yes, I
that.
was going to
You have to
say,
listen to it.
yeah,
Yeah, no, her voice
yeah,
was incredible.
wasn't it? And
Thank you for
isn't
that.
she just like the strongest
I
woman you've
I
ever?
had no idea that was her backstory. She just comes across like when you see her as like would never have had that kind of trauma behind her.
Oh
Trauma and
my
poverty.
God, she is
Yeah.
like I that was by far and away my favorite book last year that I read. It was
Mm.
incredible. I just was like, I already loved her as an
Hmm.
actress,
Hmm.
but to then know that that's where she came from, I
Hmm.
was like, holy shit.
Yeah, I
Like,
loved it. Thank you for that
yeah, yeah,
recommendation.
yeah.
All right. What else? I think that's it.
I
I've
think
been
that's
I've
it.
been writing.
Yeah.
I've been yeah doing that. Yeah,
What, by the
yeah.
time we meet at the end of April, where will we be?
Okay.
What will you have done?
I always love this question, and um, I I want to be. I want to have the Fix Kickstarter up and like clickable. That's it
Excellent.
because the only thing that now I have to do is record it, and I would like to record it and edit it a lot faster than I did last time. Oh, let me ask you this. I can't remember if I asked you this or not yet, but Lala has said that she will edit the audiobook for me. But do you think that's like a marriage killer? Can you imagine she'd have to listen to my voice for hours a day? Oh, I'd rather die. I hate listening to my voice, but
I think
she'd be so good at it. She's an
yeah, I
audio
think it's
person and
different. Yeah,
yeah. Okay, then I
I
think I'll
think it's
probably do it
different.
because that would make it get done a lot faster than I would just do the recording.
Yeah,
Yeah. And I have
yeah.
this in-house person who is really good at that kind of thing. So I need to do that.
Yeah, if
That's
they're
my
good
that's my
at
goal.
it
Yeah.
and enjoy it, then I would just,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks. What about you? What do you want to have done?
Well, finish the edit of the novella and send it to the editor. Hopefully, finish the outline for Architecty. Yeah,
Ooh.
and then the Kickstarter will be done. Juliet will be in.
And what's
So,
your other what's your saint's name? Portia? That's not right.
Petra,
Petra will be managing all of that.
she no, because she's remote.
Ah.
So, yeah, and between me and Mum, we will train Juliet.
No, no, I meant
Yeah.
Petra will be handling all the Kickstarter stuff and
Oh yes,
yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah, yeah.
You're so good. All right. Well,
Yeah.
congratulations. Can't wait to talk to you next
Thanks.
time.
Okay,
Bye.
bye. Don't forget to tune in and subscribe on your podcatcher. And when you have a moment, please leave a review.